place is jumping. And Duke wins the tip as we get underway as they chase win number 27, trying to go to 18-1 in the ACC. Duke getting some good news today. Tyrese Proctor had missed a game because of a bum knee. He's back in there. And the first shot's going to be tapped out. Already, take a look at what they're doing.
Yeah, Trayvon Spiller going to be physical with Cooper. Flagg try to bump up off the spot and see how far it is that Flagg actually is trying to post up. So that's part of the recipe.
Flagg with a miss on the first one. Wake Forest coming in at 20-9, 12-6 in the conference. As we showed you, Joe Lenardi, our bracketologist, says they are on the outside looking in right now.
And OB, to be completely honest, even though this would be a huge step in the right direction if they get this win, I'm not sure if this is enough to get the Demon Deacons in, especially after the week they had last week.
It may not be. Turning and firing, Trayvon Spillers, who comes in averaging 10 points a game. We take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by CDW. As mentioned, Proctor back in there, along with Kon Knueppel, James, Flagg, and Malawach. James with a misfire. And Hildreth with the rebound. The starting lineup brought to you by CDW for Wake Forest. And as Salas and Hildreth go, that's the way Wake goes.
It really is. They take the majority of the shots on the offensive end, but they also set the tone defensively. Where this Wake Forest team has been a much better defensive team than we've seen from Steve Forbes' groups in the past. The problem is, offensively, they have a difficult time putting the ball in the basket.
Flagg in the corner. Played only 7 minutes in their victory over FSU as he got hit around the eye. That was in the first half. Came back strong in the second half. Kon Knueppel going for the save, and out it goes back over to Wake.
And give the Demon Deacons credit, an early start defensively, keeping the Blue Devils out of balance offensively, not getting the shots that they want. Duke 0 of 3 from the field to start the game.
You know, if Wake fails to earn an NCAA tournament bid again, one giant weakness is going to be the three-point shot. They only make 29% beyond the arc. Among the worst shooting teams in the conference from long distance. The pull-up pop, that won't drop by Johnson. He's a primary offender, only 22% at the three-point line. Hildreth on the drive. Salas trying the window, but no. Rebound knocked right out of the hands of Efton Reid. Proctor with a pull-up. Crowd would have loved that.
They really would. I'm not sure Jon Scheyer loved it too much, especially when you haven't shot the basketball well. And again, he trusts Tyrese Proctor, but I'm not sure that's the shot you're looking for when you haven't been able to scratch as of yet.
Makes 41%. Salas again on the run. Here's Proctor. And we'll pull it out. Hildreth came back to defend. Malawach up high. He's going to let it fly.
Once again, I don't think that's the shot Jon Scheyer wants as he calmly walks back to the bench. But the Blue Devils now 0 of 5 from the field.
Salas with another miss and a whistle. So about 3 minutes in, you and I have done a lot of Duke games this year. This is the longest they have gone without getting on the board.
Well, you're talking about a team that scored over 100 points in 3 of their last 5 games, so they rarely ever get off to slow starts. But you see Jon Scheyer right now, he's more concerned about the fact that the Demon Deacons continue to beat them on the offensive glass.
Kon Knueppel picked up his first foul. Under Salas last year in the upset at Winston-Salem over Duke had 29 points. So keep your eye on number 23 for Wake tonight. Shot clock a factor. Down to 2. Salas took a look at it. Launches a long one. And nothing but air. And a shot clock violation. Steve Forbes, head coach, and year number 5 for Wake Forest. It was around this time a year ago. His team pulled the upset. Duke was number 8 at the time. That was in Winston-Salem and ignited a court storming that injured Duke All-American Kyle Filipowski.
And after that, Wake Forest went on to lose a couple of games that they thought were winnable. And part of the reason why they didn't make it into the NCAA tournament last year is an at-large bid. They go on the road a couple of weeks ago and get a win at SMU, then drop a couple of win opportunities back-to-back as we see Spiller continuing to be physical with Cooper. Flagg, a lot of black jerseys around Cooper anytime he attacks the basket.
Hildreth reaching and committing the foul. So Kon Knueppel to put it in. Duke still without a point. Knueppel off the fake. Another fake. Here's the 2.
Great patience by Kon Knueppel. And you can recognize the Demon Deacons are going to try to run him off the three-point line. But the patience to take the dribble in and then the pump fakes allow him to make the first basket of the game for the Blue Devils.
Knueppel, one of the 4 freshmen that Duke started on Saturday against Florida State. And they won it by 35.
Yeah, the freshmen scored 63 of their 100 points in that game. So we got to say it's a pretty good group of freshmen, OB.
In and out by Hildreth. So a chilly start for both teams here at Cameron Indoor tonight on this last big Monday. Flagg to drive it. And the kick. They move it to Knueppel. Got a great look. It almost went.
I'm not sure anyone would have this game at 2-2 after 4 minutes being played, especially being that it's here in Durham where the Blue Devils have been spectacular on offense all season long.
Johnson, good drive, couldn't finish. Spillers couldn't get it. Malawach and a tie up there and a foul. That will go against Wake Forest and Johnson as those two battle for the retest. It was their 9th conference victory by at least 25 points. That is the most of any team in a single ACC season.
And then you add in the beatdown at Madison Square Garden over Illinois. And so the Blue Devil team offensively has been playing great over their last stretch. But when you consider the first 5 minutes of this game, only 2 points, I don't think anyone would have thought that coming into this one.
Now Stunner. Knueppel to put it in, 14 points a game for him. Loose basketball for a moment, off another fake, and just threw that one into the backcourt.
And Cameron Hildreth going down. And it's going to be interesting to see, do they go over and look at this? Could have very well caught an elbow from Kon Knueppel as Bert Smith goes to check it out. And we'll have a conversation with Roger Ayers, but Hildreth being physical, gets the arm in there, could have been a foul on him, but you see that right arm come out from Knueppel and doesn't make contact. I'm not sure if there's anything extracurricular on that. And again, when you look in, the first foul is actually on Cameron Hildreth. He grabs Knueppel going to the basket. Maybe we get an angle, but that right elbow does come through. And as the right elbow is higher than the shoulders, OB, that could be something there.
Our officials tonight, Roger Ayers, Bert Smith, and Tony Henderson, a really good crew here. And they are at the monitor very early in the game. And Hildreth getting those chiclets looked at. Make sure everything is where they're supposed to be. Remember, there was no foul on the play. No whistle blown on the play. It was a backcourt violation in the end. And still tied 2-2 and an ugly start here tonight at Cameron offensively.
I think if anything comes from this, it will be because of the height of the elbow. Again, it's not a lower. And when you think about a basketball move, rarely does the elbow come up that high. I don't think there was anything that Kon Knueppel was intending to do, but as the elbow comes up this high, that's the concern. But part of it, it doesn't come up that high because he is tangled up with Hildreth, who commits the first foul on that one. It wasn't called, but he brings that arm up, and I think that
after review, it's incidental contact. It'll be Wake Forest ball on the baseline, 20 on the shot clock.
And that's the reason the incidental contact comes because it's Hildreth's arm who brings Knueppel's arm up. Otherwise, his elbow wouldn't be that high.
I agree. I think they got that right. And coming up next, third-ranked Houston is about to host Hunter Dickinson and Kansas. That is on the way on this big Monday when we finish up at Cameron Indoor.
How about Houston with back-to-back Big 12 titles in their first 2 years in the Big 12? Kelvin Sampson, absolutely one of the best.
Timeout. Wake will take a timeout. Difficulty getting that in. We'll be.
And when you consider that was the last time, that takes you back the 1997 year, which so many records were broken and so many different players are trying to achieve now what Tim Duncan was able to do in 1997. But the Demon Deacons would just love to get a win here in Cameron Indoor.
A 4-2 lead. Cooper Flagg, quiet so far. A long one. A Nothing falling yet.
With John Shire looking for offense, so he brings Isaiah Evans off the bench. Slim, who had 19 points to lead the Blue Devils against Florida State, running the floor now, could very well have found the opportunity.
James open, got the three.
But Kon Knueppel makes the right play, goes to the ball side. Sion James able to knock it down to give the Blue Devils a lead.
And what launched that fast break was Cooper Flagg. Excellent defense over the top without committing a foul. To jar that one free. Johnson off the dribble, bouncing inside, and it rolls home.
And that's really where Wake Forest took a big step forward this year with Ty-Laur Johnson going into the starting lineup at the point position. You and I had the Demon Deacons in Greensboro beating Michigan, of course, a top 25 team early this year, and they had Hunter Silas primarily at the point guard position.
Flagg wide open for a triple. He's hitting 38%.
And that's the most space he's seen in this game. Trevon Spillers has done a great job already being physical with Cooper Flagg, not giving him much space to operate. However, Coop able to get open and knock down the three on the last possession.
Duke #1 in the ACC, 39% beyond the three-point line. Hildreth over the shoulder, got knocked to the deck, no whistle. Isaiah Evans on the drive will lay it in.
Instant offense. We talked about it. John Shire saying we need a boost. You go to Slim, give him his opportunities. Normally does his job, does his work beyond the three-point arc, but this time attacking the basket, using that limp to score over the top.
Slim came up big on Saturday with 19.
But look at another way to be physical with Cooper Flagg is to force him to have to defend. Does a great job chipping it away, as you mentioned, without fouling, and then that steal turns into points on the other end. But when you give Cooper Flagg this much room, you mentioned OB shooting 38% from three, he's going to knock that down.
It was a scary moment the other day in the first half against FSU. He couldn't see. It really blurred his vision when he got hit. Only played the 7 minutes in the first half. Salas with a tough shot.
That's where Salas is so special, when you get him in the mid-range. Not shooting well from three, especially in ACC play under 30, but still getting the job done. As Slim comes down and knocks down another one. OB, right on cue. You need offense and Slim.
Fastest release in the East. Man, he can get rid of it. He has 5 quick points. That brings them alive here at Cameron in a big way. Hildreth beyond the three. Knueppel on him, body to body. Jumps into the paint, well short. And that's going to be a foul against Efton Reid, the big senior for Wake Forest.
Those are the fouls Efton Reid has to stay away from, Obi. He's been his entire time at Wake Forest in foul trouble. And when you have fouls as such, it ends up hurting you late game. There's no advantage for him committing that foul. But Hunter Silas snaking the screen, getting to the baseline. That's almost like working with your trainer. That's textbook the way Hunter Silas is able to get to the baseline with the separation.
Averaging 19 points a game. Well short. That one comes right to Juke Harris, the freshman.
Isaiah Evans looking for a foul on that possession. Thought he was caught defender with a hand in the cookie jar as Hunter Silas does catch Tyrese Proctor in the air, leans in, have 2 free throws when we return.
Salas, the 6'5" senior, will be at the line. Duke starting to get rolling offensively, and a fan favorite really bringing this crowd to life at Cameron Indoor on a big Monday. He is loving it, and from distance he can be deadly.
Or is he a crazy guy with a towel?
I think both would apply, absolutely.
Well, maybe he's a former crazy with a towel. Maybe that's what it is.
Yes, now you're overthinking.
Oh yeah, I went too far. I went too far. My bad, OB.
13-8. Salas with number 2, and that one will go home. He's at 81% for the year. Duke averaging 83, holding opponents to 61.
And that's the thing, that point margin, 22 points per game. They have been dominant all season long. We mentioned Arizona in our previous promo. Duke actually went to McHale and got a win.
Gillis in the game, can't bury the long one. Mason Gillis was instrumental in the victory. Good run here And for the quick strike by Harris, but when Duke won at Winston-Salem, and that game could have gone either way, the guy who settled down Duke was the veteran, the graduate from Purdue, Mason Gillis.
Yeah, Mason Gillis with 11 points in that game, knocked down 3 threes, especially one late under 2 minutes. So he was huge for the Blue Devils in that game. But we continue to keep track of how they're going to guard Cooper Flagg. But the difference is you've got another freshman guarding and Juke Harris, so you have to bring the double team to get the basketball out of his hands. Juke Harris has had a very good freshman year, but I'm not sure he's ready for that defensive responsibility of guarding Cooper Flagg one-on-one yet.
Quite sure who is.
True that.
Salas with his first foul to put Proctor at the line. Duke fans delighted he is back after missing basically a game and a half with the bone bruise on the knee. Coming in averaging 12 points a game, 76% at the foul line.
And he's really been the reason that they've kind of elevated their game. It's been Tyrese Proctor. We've seen Cooper Flagg, Kon Knueppel play very well all season long. But when Tyrese Proctor became that true third scorer going on the road, multiple games over 20 at Boston College, same at Clemson, you think about what he's been for this team. That's the reason I think they elevated. But being able to win without him was an even more significant sign for the Blue Devils.
The Australian such a big part of this. And the success of Duke, and why they are 26-3, 17-1 in the ACC. Salas again. Boy, what a difficult shot. He's made a couple.
It really is, and he's been able to make tough shots. He uses his size to elevate over the top, but look how quickly the Blue Devils get back down floor.
Flagg for an answer, but no. Malawach up and over everybody. Proctor's open. And a lot of iron, but down the way.
It's got to feel good for Proctor to be able to see one go down from 3. And again, it doesn't matter how much time you miss. Missing one game can truly throw you off rhythm.
The kick out for Reid. Too strong. They'll get a second effort.
That's where Wake Forest has really been able to do damage in this game, getting multiple opportunities at second chance shots.
Salas wants to get one off and draws a foul on the shot. Salas proving to be a lot to handle for the Duke defense here early on.
And this is another, we talked about it. You don't just be physical with Cooper Flagg when you have him on the offensive end of the floor. You have to try your best to post him. That's what Clemson was able to do to get a win against the Blue Devils a few weeks ago, and especially at Little John Coliseum. They forced Cooper to have to defend in the painted area. Ian Shefflin was able to make it a very physical game, wore Cooper down, and there was no Mason Gillis in that game. So Cooper actually had to play 38 minutes and was actually cramping by the end of that game.
And of course, Duke has said they're optimistic about getting Malik Brown back as that shoulder continues to heal. We shall see. That's a significant loss, as great a defender as he is.
I'm just shocked that 10 minutes in I hadn't mentioned that, because that's been my thing with the Blue Devils. They're a great team regardless, but they're an even greater team when you've got Malik Brown in the fold. He makes them so versatile, especially on the defensive end of the floor, and adds to their offenses that they're able to play 5 out when they have him on the floor.
Below end, Malawach tangling there right around the three-point line. And the foul will go against the Duke Blue Devils, and John Shire heated up. Malawach picks up number 1.
Yeah, they're going to get Malawach for that as Baloo comes over to try to get in position to hedge the screen. And Malawach really vacating his space. Doesn't go to set the screen. It's actually taken off, but does create the contact with Baloo. It's not a popular call here, but it absolutely is the correct call.
Flagg on Salas. Out of bounds off Cooper Flagg. Another look back.
So you see as Malawach is trying to take a run to the rim, but look at the left arm shoulder of Malawach where it makes contact with Baloo. John Shire not happy about the result of that call.
Salas, shot clock now down to 3. He's out in midcourt. They chase him.
He doesn't know.
And did not get the shot off.
But
that a couple of violations.
But that's because of the trap. You think about Malawat and Sion James trapping Hunter Salas off the screen, just blitzing it, blowing it up, forcing him all the way back to pretty much half court. Hunter Salas had zero idea that the shot clock was getting close to the end.
Flagg will drive it, leaning in, takes it, and makes the basket. He's headed to the line. Well, we're documenting it throughout the game just how physical Wake is trying to be with number 2. Didn't pay off that time.
It did not. We need to document how many shots he makes with his right hand in comparison to with his left. As he attacks here once again, Cooper going to the left hand, getting it softly up on the rim through the contact. But we've watched him all season long, especially when he attacks the basket, finishing with that left hand.
But forget about the next level for a second. If we can do that for Cooper Flagg. I know that's hard to do for a lot of people, but we're talking with Chris Carwell today, the outstanding assistant coach for Duke. He works for about 30 minutes at every practice with Flagg on game day, and specifically about stuff like how much contact you can expect tonight. And he's coaching him to expect this in the NCAA tournament every single game.
Absolutely, because the only time that you've really seen teams be physical with Duke this year and be successful was at Clemson. And so whenever you find that recipe to be able to beat the Blue Devils, the kick ahead, and Flagg unable to handle that one. But whenever you find a recipe that could cost you a win, as we see the 4th turnover for the Blue Devils, other teams are going to try to emulate it. NC State tried to do it. Dontrez Styles played very well, but he got in foul trouble. You've seen other teams try to do it against Duke. They haven't had the success that Clemson had, but it's still going to be the recipe to try to be successful, especially in this building.
The swing once again for Salas. Interrupted. James got his hands on it. Knueppel on the drive. Going in strong, and a foul.
Knueppel missed an opportunity there. Whenever you have a big guy that does the job defensively and sprints the floor, and Kon Knueppel has shown us time and time again he is more than capable of handling a lob. That's one you've got to throw it up to the big fella and give him his opportunity to go dunk that home. It still could be 2 points, but there's a difference in 2 points. A 2 points with a dunk and a lob here in this building gets everyone excited. Free throws,
got to reward him, right?
Got to reward him. Absolutely got to reward him.
Johnson with a foul, and Knueppel 91% at the line. He is number 2 on the Duke team in minutes played behind Cooper Flagg. So far 3 points tonight.
And in a normal year, he could very well be the ACC Rookie of the Year.
Well, Duke with their biggest lead tonight, on top 22-14. It has not been an offensive showcase for either team yet. Johnson, a sophomore from Brooklyn, wants Reid to touch it. Trying to move Flagg out of the way. Flagg will commit the foul with 8:01 to go here in the first half. That's number 1 on Cooper. I still think that his spectacular dunk against Pitt back in January, that poster, is his finest dunk of the year. Maybe not altogether in terms of style monster points, but I say this because it meant something in the game. The game was not determined yet.
Agreed.
And he got angry. And that's what he did on the other end of the floor. The other dunks have been spectacular. I granted that, but they don't mean as much.
I agree wholeheartedly with your point. But I've been watching Cooper Flagg since he was 13 years old. As you get a look at that dunk, and it absolutely meant something. But I've seen Cooper do better. And I believe that's where it numbs me. His mom and I actually had a conversation regarding it.
You did?
Yeah, she felt as though the dunk at Kansas over Floyd Badinga was better than that one. And so, again, there will always be discussion about Cooper's best dunks, but that's not a bad discussion to have, OB, when we're talking about all of his dunks combined.
When you're arguing like 1 through 7, which one was the best, you're pretty darn good. Flagg with it up high. Hildreth swatting at it. Knocked it away. It's loose again. Shot clock inside 10. Flagg on the spin. Looking for room to operate. Got it downstairs. Great patience. James with the basket.
Yeah, I love the way Cooper's strong with the basketball in the trap, but more ability to give it up and get the assist in comparison to forcing a bad shot.
Reid, the 7-footer, 9 points a game. Backing into Malawach. And it was Cooper Flagg who came over for the deflection. Johnson from 14. Cooper Flagg with a rebound. Knueppel. That won't drop. Malawach beat everybody to it. Flagg thought about it. Gillis does. And off target. Knueppel, great hustle, but saved it over to Wake.
That's a microcosm of this Duke team, though, as Hildreth gets downhill and just blows a tire on that possession. I don't know if he was trying to get a call.
And a whistle with 6:38 to go. 24-15, the Blue Devils.
Steve Forbes understands between 20 points. When you're a freshman and you can rely on getting 20 points a game between quad 1 and quad 2 games, that may be Wooden Award. But you put it here.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, what he is not the most serious candidate to win. Across the board, he's won the ACC Rookie of the Week. Enough times they should name the award after him.
A record, yes, a record 11 times for him, surpassing Kenny Anderson, Tyler Hansbrough. You're talking about some of the best to ever lace him up in the ACC. As a careless turnover from Hildreth. Efton Reid on the slip, never even turns his head. And those are the type of plays that Steve Forbes, can't really, when you got veteran players like Hildreth and Reid, you can't explain that happening, especially coming out of a timeout.
Yeah, particularly a game that is so important to them. Can't be more important as Flagg will draw the foul. Meanwhile, Wake has not made a three. They are 0 for 4 from three-point land. Duke is 4 out of 15, but this is a giant issue for Coach Forbes. And his team just 29% from three-point land for the season.
They talk with BJ about the exact same you and I are talking about. How does this happen? Coming out of a timeout, how do you have that miscommunication between two veteran players? Efton Reid and Cameron Hildreth, both fourth-year college guys. And they've been in the system now with Coach Forbes with Hildreth 4 years, Efton Reid now in his second season.
Cooper Flagg at the line and makes the pair. He has 10 here in the first half. A check of the ACC standings. Duke at 17-1, and Louisville and Clemson followed by Wake Forest. Wake was a preseason number 3 pick.
But Obi, this is why John Shire's talking about his team has to have a sense of desperation also. Louisville and Clemson are both on their heels.
That shot nearly went. Reid will pick up the foul. Trying to get up and stuff it. Duke converging on him around the 10. And he'll be at the foul line as Sion James picks up his first.
But just as you mentioned, OB, he tries to go dunk it. That's why he gets the benefit of the doubt of getting the call. Whether there's much contact or not, if he goes up light and tries to lay that up, it's a clean block. But when you try to dunk it and play with force, oftentimes the officials will give you the benefit of the doubt.
I've seen that called a clean block many times, but take another look.
But there is contact to the body down low, and there's also contact from Patrick Gumba on the backside. I tell you what, if I'm Efton Reid, I absolutely want that call.
And drops that in. Reid is a guy they can rely on to make shots, 57% from the field. Flagg on the move. Evans. Here it comes. Does not need a lot of room to get a shot off. Here's Hildreth now attacking. Spillers blocked by Flagg. And it's kicked out of play by James. It'll be Wake Forest ball, but Cooper Flagg with a rejection.
Yeah, Spillers, who is a great shot blocker himself, attacking the basket, but that time meeting Cooper Flagg, who does a great job staying vertical. As you watch Coop go up vertically with the jump, there's contact, but then is able to get the body, and I believe they're going to get an offensive foul on Hildreth here.
Yes. Number 2. 5:32 to go in the first half.
Hildreth just pushing off a little bit of a chicken wing to Cooper Flagg, not allowing him to get out and defend, but doing it right in front of the officials is going to get called each and every time.
And for Wake, you've got that danger zone, right? And that'll go the other way. Hildreth tying up with Evans, who will pick up the foul.
have to give the defender an opportunity to get around the screen. No longer can you go up and put a body on a man. You've got to give them a step defensively.
Steve Forbes working side by side with Roger Ayers. Back for Salas. He can heat up with anybody in this conference. Double fake on Flagg. He didn't bite. He had nowhere to go. Reid is open. Long distance, but no. Rebound tapped and controlled by Duke. James to the paint. Scooping it up, no. Down he goes. Great job by Kon Knueppel to get to the loose ball. Flagg on Hildreth. Gumba with travel. And a turnover for Duke. And that'll be their 6th. They only had 4 the entire last game.
It had 0 in the first half last game with 12 assists. So, but give Wake Forest defensively a lot of credit for where they've been able to stall the Blue Devils offensively. Only 28 points for Duke with 4:37 remaining. But you also have to look at the Blue Devils and what they do defensively. Give them a tremendous amount of credit for stifling the Demon Deacons.
Hildreth, the man out of Worthing, England, on the dribble. No place to go.
After Reid's already taken 2 threes, hesitant to let that one go.
Yeah, that's got to be his weak limit. And a tie-up. And it'll stay right here in this end with just over 4 minutes to go in the opening half. So Wake Forest is very much an improved defensive team from a year ago, much better than a year ago, holding opponents to 68 points, 40% shooting. And they knew coming in they were going to have their #1 defensive effort of the year.
Absolutely. It's when you're playing against this team in this building, you have to be able to come in with, and really locked in on your game plan. And I believe they've done that to this point. I think they've done a really good job when you look at what they've been able to do with the Blue Devils throughout this game. Duke only shooting 36.4% from the field, 8 of 22. So give Wake a lot of credit for what they've done defensively, but on the other end of the floor, only shooting 25%. They have missed his last 7 opportunities. And so when you think about Duke, they're just as good defensively as they are offensively.
Harris. Nalawak says, not here. Another Duke rejection. It was with the shot clock winding down. And now at 5.
Malawat's cleaning up the mess, and that's one of the areas where you talk about being a great defensive team. You always have that guy, the rim protector behind you. When you do get beat or get in a compromising situation, to be able to take care of business behind you.
Wake's already had 2 shot clock violations. Spillers just beats it, but actually went up and over the rim, and so that's another. Flagg with a misfire there. Malawat's great save, and laid up and in by Kon Knueppel.
Coach Greenberg, I am throwing that off the glass. Now, I might throw it off the glass to myself. However, I'm throwing it off the glass. Me and Malawat both. See which one of us gets to it first. But I'm absolutely going to give him an opportunity.
You would have been creative with it.
I absolutely would have, OB.
Wake Forest really cold. 0 for their last 10. They haven't made a field goal in 7 minutes before that one.
Spiller started the year off shooting the ball really well from beyond the 3-point arc. He struggled in ACC play. Only 29% from beyond the 3, but makes a big one there. And again, there really hasn't been tremendous separation. However, now this time, Kon throws it up to Malawat. We often see the Blue Devils start the game out like that.
Yeah. I think they were listening to that toss from the studio.
They should have been.
Listening to Coach. Hildreth zips that one. Salas again. Salas and Flagg. Good matchup tonight. And Flagg wins that.
Uh-oh, this is going.
Got a 2-on-1. Proctor will lay in off the iron.
2-on-1, give it to Proctor early. And then for Coop, just run to the basket. Proctor's going to throw it back up. Would have been another highlight in camera, but a missed opportunity for the Blue Devils.
Thought we were looking at a Koopa-loop off the window. Hildreth can't finish it.
Trademark OB.
Here's Proctor on a run out. Proctor made that one. Far tougher this time. That was twice as difficult.
Yeah, Reese was looking for a degree of difficulty, but a little conversation guard can't. They got along a little better there than they are tonight.
Funny how that happens when you put these uniforms on. Knocked away, but Knueppel will get the foul as he went for the steal, his second personal.
Obi, I saw this play earlier. I asked our great producer and director to be able to clip this one. Okay, I don't need Cooper Flagg doing this. Do you see that right arm in the compromising position? Now, again, this dude plays as hard as you possibly can play. He doesn't think about injury. But for those of us who are fans and want to see him achieve everything, I'm going to need him, even if he's diving on the floor, don't stick his arm in there in that scenario, because they're already missing Malik Brown with the dislocated shoulder. We don't know when you get him back. The last thing the Blue Devil fans need to see is Cooper Flagg getting injured on a play as such.
And at least one NBA general manager.
At least one? I think there may be about 10.
Whoever is lucky enough to have him in the end.
Yes, very true.
2:09 to go, and Reid at the line. Makes it 34-22. He has 5 points. Knueppel to the paint. Proctor's open. Knueppel kept that alive. James will drive, take the hit, went for the lay-in. Malawak still battling. Proctor off the fake. Knueppel's the open shooter.
And we've seen this from the Blue Devils a number of times throughout this game. Giving up a good shot to get a great shot. They haven't always worked out for them here in this first half, but it absolutely does on the last possession.
Beautiful hook there by Efton Reid.
And then he goes back with the too small sign to the 7-footer and Malawak.
Malawak is 2 inches taller.
Yeah, but in Efton's defense, Cooper Flagg also did that in the previous game. Talking about the Wake Forest defenders being too small to guard him.
James a triple. 40-24 with a minute to go before halftime. This one getting away from Wake Forest.
Well, we knew Duke would make the run. We talked about it when the score was 2-2. But Wake Forest has to find a way to settle themselves offensively and make sure they get good looks each and every time down the floor.
Hildreth got in the air, couldn't find anyone, gets it off to Reid, and he'll drill it.
And after Reid with another celebration going back, he's now 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. But that is something that can help his team moving forward. Going back down the floor now, an important opportunity for the Demon Deacons to get a stop.
Knueppel got it to the rim, but could not make it.
And if you're right now, Juke Harris, get the last shot of the half. Don't force anything. An opportunity for you to get this to 10, maybe 11 going into the halftime locker room. But if you can have some type of momentum on an offensive run, it absolutely helps you in the second half.
4 seconds to get up a shot. Salas gave up the dribble. Harris with a wild one off the backboard. That's how the first half comes to an end. Duke on top 40-27. To lead the Duke Blue Devils, the #2 team in the country. And Duke opening up the second 20 minutes with a basketball. James going for Flagg, went for the stuff and he couldn't finish it.
And that one kind of got on Cooper quickly. The play was designed for him to slip, but the pass, and of course the right play by Sion James was already in the air before Cooper got there. Threw him off balance a little bit. Unable to finish it home.
Cameron Hildreth coming off 28 against Notre Dame. He just wouldn't let them lose that game. Cross court Salas. Johnson wants it and connects from three-point land.
Ty-Laur Johnson, if he's making threes, that's a bonus for the Demon Deacons. They've struggled from beyond the arc. But again, a great offensive possession for them on the first one, especially forcing the miss on the last possession defensively.
Knueppel spins in the paint, left it short. Wake looking for that early momentum as the second half gets underway at a sold-out Cameron Indoor, the 540th consecutive sellout here.
Efton Reid, who made a three at the end of the first half, going to pass that one up.
Salas airborne, hit it. He's going to the line, looking for a three-point play.
And an opportunity for a 6-0 run to start this half for the Demon Deacons. We just mentioned a 17-1 run for them at Wake Forest a month or so ago, and now you see the Demon Deacons coming out of the second half very composed after their conversation with Coach Ford in the locker room.
Cooper Flagg is second personal. Salas 81% at the line. He was their top scorer at 19 a game. He's also their leading assist maker.
And it's a 7-point game, OB. A stop here could do wonders for the Demon Deacons.
Cooper Flagg for Kon Knueppel. In the paint again, nothing there. Proctor back in the lineup after missing the last game with a knee problem. Shot clock down to 5. Down to 2. Malawash have to lift, and that one well short. Flagg picks it off to the other side of the arc for 2.
Of course, who else would make the play? Get an offensive rebound to put back on what was a great defensive possession for Wake Forest. Just unable to finish it off and keeping Cooper Flagg off the offensive glass.
The basketball savvy is ridiculous.
It really is, and more importantly, understanding his timing. Always in the right place at the right time to help his team get wins.
Johnson with Proctor right on his hip. It's a tough shot. He makes it.
Really is. Johnson aggressive to start this second half.
He has 9 points tonight. 42-35. Wake trying to make a game of it. Flagg slamming on the brakes. Off balance to hit the shot.
Going off that one leg. We've seen it made famous by, of course, Dirk Nowitzki. Kevin Durant does it extremely well. Cooper Flagg adding to his bag, making that a part of his game.
Johnson again, round the back this time. Salas. He's got 10 to shoot. Got a crossover, nearly lost it. Now the pull up, and he can't hit it. Cooper Flagg, the National Player of the Year candidate, will pull up and fire and drain a three.
You remember our conversation talking about the second half? He averages 8.1 points per game in the first half. Second half, 12 points. Already off to a great start here in the second. OB filling it up. 7 points for Cooper.
Reid wants it. Got a great look and a three.
This was Efton Reid's game coming out of high school. He was a shooter. Again, oftentimes we tried to force him to get in the painted area, use his size much more, but hasn't lost the jumper. Steve Forbes allowing him to showcase it here tonight.
47-38 Duke. Proctor for James. Flagg again. Working on Spillers. And a very difficult shot won't roll in. There is a whistle.
Cooper looking for a foul on that one. I'm wondering why he didn't shoot the three. He's already hot. Had all right after knocking down this one-legged falling back jumper off the bounce, knocks down the three. That's the last shot before this possession. He had all right to take the heat check at the top of the key as soon as he caught the basketball.
Second foul on Reid. Kon Knueppel, and he gets hit in the act of attempting a three. That's the wrong guy to put at the line. 91%.
We can say that most likely the first 10 points of this half we scored by freshman Kon Knueppel with 3 opportunities at the free throw line. And he's pretty much automatic when he gets there. Now, I know I'm putting myself, OB, in jinx territory. But that's the confidence I have in Kon at the strike.
Well, pretty darn good there, as you mentioned. Also pretty darn good from three-point land, leading Duke there at 39%. One of the 4 freshmen that Duke started Saturday. He had 14 in that one, along with 5 assists. Also an excellent passer, an automatic at the line, as you mentioned.
Didn't touch the rim. All 3 free throws, all net. Never touched the rim. Saw his mom at halftime. She said hello.
So now Wake needs an answer. Hildreth running into a wall, left it short. Flagg picking the rebound.
Yeah, the problem is Hildreth running into that. Oh!
Now watch, no! Duke's missed a couple of slams.
I normally see most of Coop's dimes coming. I didn't see that one. The look-away lob. Malawach has to finish that one off. I was just talking about how good he is handling the basketball in the lob and making it into 2 points.
Ellsworth using the body to get free, but Proctor sticking to him. Reid backing out. They're going to guard him now, I think, the rest of the night.
Yeah,
Shot clock down to 6. Johnson gets a look at it, down to 3. Here's the kick for Spillers, and can't bury it. So the Blue Devils looking to expand on the lead. They have had 9 conference victories of at least 25 points this year. They had run roughshod over the ACC. Flagg off to James. Just got to Knueppel, but he's on the line, and that's a turnover.
Second opportunity, I felt like Cooper Flagg should have taken the 3. Pump faked and gave up an opportunity, and the team ends up with a turnover.
3 of the association's top teams will highlight our ESPN NBA Wednesday doubleheader. In the Eastern Conference, the Cavs and the Heat at 7. SGA and OKC taking on the Grizz. NBA countdown tipping off with our coverage at 6:30 Eastern time. Corey just 5 minutes ago was in Phoenix doing an NBA game.
And I was bragging about my Cavalier Wahoo connection with DeAndre Hunter and Ty Jerome, who combined for 57 points last night in that win for the Cavaliers over the Portland Trailblazers in overtime.
Flagg sizes one up, and yes, knocks down a 3. Give him 20.
Why not shoot the other 2? When it's going this well for you, just shoot the basketball. When they're giving you space, let it fly.
Off the fake, downstairs, Reid got it deep, and he'll draw the foul. Efton Reid headed to the line, the senior from Richmond, Virginia, and fouled by Malawach, who picks up number 2. So what's in store for Cooper Flagg?
I'm going to say all of the above on this chart right here. I do believe he will be ACC Player of the Year and ACC Rookie of the Year. I do believe he will be the Wooden Award winner and the #1 pick in the 2025 NBA Draft. The question is, does he challenge Carmelo Anthony as the best all-time one-and-done player by capping it off with a national championship?
That's what Melo did at Syracuse.
That's what Melo did at Syracuse. That's the reason why he's #1 in my book. As you see Kelly up, coaching her baby up, and she's probably thinking, actually she's coaching up Kon Knueppel, who she's maybe just as close to as she is her own twins.
Well, you know, we heard that from John Shire early in the season. This is a very close-knit group among the parents, that they root for each other's kids like he's never seen before.
And that's one of the things, OB, and a lot of it has to do with you have moms and dads who not only played the game but coach the game.
Yep.
But they understand how important it is to root for other players' success. Look at the parents. Every one of them is up, arms up, celebrating Showtime Slim knocking down another 3.
Hit 4 threes against FSU. When he makes at least 3, Duke is 9-0.
Doubled that up in the first half against Auburn, made 6, and changed that game here where the Blue Devils beat the #1 team in Cameron.
In traffic. No chance on that one. Knueppel on the open floor. And a good job by Fredrickson to step in and lodge it. Not many turnovers out of the Duke Blue Devils. Fredrickson with a leaner for 2. Parker Fredrickson, the 6'4" sophomore out of Bixby, Oklahoma. They expected a little bit more from him from three-point land this season. On that topic, Evans on a misfire comes right back out high for Flagg. On the drive, the spin, the feed. Here's James.
Cooper Flagg just looks over at the bench and gives a little Michael Jordan type shrug. His 5th assist as he gets cut off in the paint, but of course has the tremendous vision to find Sion James, who continues to shoot the basketball extremely well. Cooper Flagg, well, gets the double team, makes the right play, finding James, who's now 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. 11 points for him, and Cooper just letting his guys know, I'm going to make the right play.
Well, Well, these fans know what his future is. We just documented that. This is their last home game. They are soaking it up. Duke by 18.
And contrary to all the talk of him coming back, this is his last home game as well.
Yeah, the #1 slot awaits. Cooper, Flagg. Look at that draft board. There he is, #1. Knueppel 6. Malawat 7. Proctor at number 40, and then James and Evans. But they really should have had a freshman night here.
They really could have absolutely had a freshman night. 4 possible freshmen in the mix. However, I believe Isaiah Evans, if he decides to come back, and I think Tyrese Proctor could very well come back as well. Isaiah Evans could be the ACC Player of the Year next year if he decides to come back.
Really?
And a lottery pick. He's a lottery talent. And when you consider he's coming off the bench playing behind Kon Knueppel, Cooper, Flagg, etc. But a summer of work. And then coming back in being the guy next year, Duke's 59 points, including all 19 of this second half.
Keep in mind, by the way, the Tar Heels have ripped off 5 in a row. Probably playing their finest basketball of the season right now.
And going to start a much bigger lineup against the Blue Devils this time than they did when they started 4 guards the last time. Now playing at 6'7", 6'9", and 6'8" up front, trying to match the size of the Blue Devils, the tallest team in America.
Reach in foul by Hunter Salas. 11:33 to go. You know, over the weekend, Duke won by 35 points against Florida State. And the venerable Leonard Hamilton, will be retiring at the end of the season, said as far as he was concerned, this was the most connected and the best executing Duke team he had seen here at Cameron Indoor.
Well, when you consider how long he's coached against the Blue Devils and again against Coach K and his teams, that's a tremendous compliment to John Shire and what he's done. But when you've got guys like Mason Gillis coming off the bench, making threes, and more importantly, playing his role, Sion James stepping into the starting lineup after the first 7 games and seamlessly running this team extremely well. And we've talked about the freshmen so much for the good reason as they continue to be excellent each and every time out.
Biggest lead of the night here for the Duke Blue Devils. They will add to that. Mason Gillis coming off the bench.
Extremely important for both the Tar Heels and the Mustangs when you consider not only trying to boost your NCAA tournament resume, but also your ACC tournament resume. Who gets that double bye and is in that 4th seed? And more importantly, that gives you the best chance of having that matchup against the Blue Devils to have an opportunity to get another quad 1 win.
That's the big fish. Malawat, no, this time again can't get it to go. Although had really no chance to dunk that.
Oh, you got to dunk it backwards over there.
Backwards.
Yeah, that's where you put that one behind the head. You dunk that one backwards.
And break the backboard.
Oh, yeah, or that. Oh, let's not do that. Because with the way the gym is set up, it may take us a while to be able to fix that one.
On the drive, off the window. Nice touch by the freshman Harris.
Yeah, Juke Harris has had a really good freshman season for the Demon Deacons. Continues to grow each and every time out. Again, becoming a much better defender.
Getting about 18 minutes a game. Flagg on the attack and a foul too.
And just like a broken record, finishes with his left hand again. You know, Steve Forbes told us earlier today he wanted to push Cooper to his offhand, which raised the question, which one is that? Because you see him going right, able to attack, but finishes with the left. This is the second left-handed and one that he has throughout this game. And we've watched him throughout the season going left, dunking on people. I'm not sure that Cooper has an offhand. I believe operates equally as well either side.
Reid with his 3rd foul, 22 points. And counting for the freshman from Newport, Maine, who leads Duke in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals, not to mention minutes.
But how about the efficiency? 22 points on only 13 field goal attempts. And this is not a night where he's really lived at the free throw line. He's 5 for 5 from the free throw stripe. This will be his 6th attempt. But he hasn't lived there like he has oftentimes at double-figure free throw attempts.
Gunbook keeping it alive as the big guy comes off the bench. Gillis is open. And And one he missed. He hit a couple early. And great hustle here by Gungba. He's made a couple of plays.
But a great play by Isaiah Evans there, not shooting that one, allowing Duke to be able to run offense and run some time off the clock.
6 to shoot. Flagg pulls up and drains it.
From the exact spot where he just missed the free throw, right? However, this one counts for 2. So maybe Cooper's just doing the math in his head. You know, forget that 1 point. Let me get it back and go get it right.
He's better when it's harder. He has a hand in his face. 69-43. Reid to work on another big, clearing out some space in the paint. But a whistle here with 8:51 to play. And Gungba with the personal. Back to Flagg a moment ago.
As you see, Cooper Flagg trying to get the screen set for Mason Gillis, directing traffic, pointing Tyrese Proctor to his, but when everything breaks down, Cooper Flagg has the ability to be able to put the ball on the floor, go make a play, and make a tough shot. Recognizing the defense is trying to track him down from the rear, fading away, knocks down the mid-range.
He'll take a breather. And Wake to put it in from the baseline. Cameron Hildreth has had a rough one in this one. He's coming off 28 as mentioned. And an excellent performance against Notre Dame. But this is a different story tonight. The turnaround by Harris, but no. And a wrestling job here for the rebound. As both Reid and Gungba hit the deck.
Been a little bit of a battle over the last couple possessions with Reid and Gungba, 2 guys from my great state of Virginia. Speaking of, the 2025 commencement speaker here at Duke, another Virginia resident who's actually in the state of Virginia right now, just finished dinner with his father, the great Calvin Hill, will be Grant Hill. He's going to be speaking at Duke's graduation this year. Now, I tell you what, he's not going to make that shot. I don't know what kind of camera tricks they did right there, but look at the students as they recognize Grant Hill as the commencement speaker for 2025. Outside of the artificial intelligence that allowed him to make that jump shot at the top of the key. Great job by the facilities here with the Blue Devils.
A legend.
Yeah,
and the
absolute
fans,
legend.
They just loved it. I mean, what a great treat that is. Here you are just, months away from graduating from Duke, and that's one of the gifts you get. Grant Hill is your commencement speaker.
But think about how many seniors there are over in the Cameron Crazies, and that will be a part of this. A rite of passage as your senior year, you get an opportunity to be on the sidelines for each and every one of these games, and a great job by this prestigious university to choose this moment, senior night, to be able to give them the gift of Grant Hill. Was a gift to some people, not to me.
Some are more senior than others, obviously.
Yes.
By the way, we just had double technicals on Reid and Proctor. And another whistle here with 8:42 to go. And it has gotten away from Wake Forest. And any hopes that the Demon Deacons had of getting to the NCAA tournament really would have hinged on winning tonight, a major upset. He'll be at the line. Juke Harris to shoot, only 56%.
For Steve Forbes, you've got to consider that there's always the opportunity to win the ACC tournament. And again, in years past, we may say, no, it's not going to happen. We did see Duke go win 4 games in 4 days in Brooklyn back in 2017, I believe. But then you consider what we saw a season ago with the Wolfpack winning 5 games in 5 days. And they didn't stop there. Went on to win another 4 games to get to the Final Four. So anything can happen in this league, especially once we get to tournament time.
You and I did a number of the NC State games last year, and we knew they were better than their record, but maybe a couple of wins in the ACC tournament, I think they would have been the light. Not what they did. It was just incredible.
There was no way to predict that you would see that. And the teams that they beat to get there, you got to consider, of course, Michael O'Connell shot off the glass against Virginia to send the game into overtime and eventually win that one. DJ Burns was absolutely phenomenal, but it was a true team effort a season ago, and it's going to take that again from one of these teams in the ACC to be able to hold that tournament crown.
Proctor off the inbounds. Can't sink it. Knueppel going for the loose ball. Corrals that. Kon Knueppel finds Gillis.
Pump fake.
Driving it and will lay it in. He has 8 points pretty quickly, too, off the bench.
OB from up here in the crow's nest. I almost jumped on that pump fake. Mason Gillis sold it extremely well.
They weren't alone. Reid open. In and out this time, although he's had a good night shooting it. Proctor's not going to wait. He'll drive right past everybody. He has 8 points tonight.
But look at the Duke bench. Everyone up. Cooper, Flagg demonstrating the move by Tyrese Proctor. Kamamala, Sion James all applauding the effort of their team on the court.
Loose ball. Going to be hitting the deck. Evans not going to wait around. Knueppel with the rebound. Back up for 2. And Duke is flat running. And everybody should have someone like this running their basketball program.
And she is the first general manager in college basketball. And we have heard other coaches call John Shire a visionary. 3 seasons ago, before he became the head coach, already had contacted Rachel Baker, because he knew he was the coach in waiting behind Coach K, had contacted Rachel Baker about, once he took over, becoming the general manager for the Duke Blue Devil team, recognizing NIL, everything that was coming, and with the transfer portal. And we've had other ACC coaches call John a visionary. And of course, John, one of the younger coaches, if not the youngest coach in the ACC, to be called that means a lot. But he absolutely was just that in bringing in Rachel Baker.
Gillis for the triple, no, and a rebound comes free to Spillers. 77-47 Duke. Well, Duke in many respects was a step or 2 ahead of a lot of schools. Not everybody, but a lot of schools. And she's phenomenal. We had a chance to chat with her recently, and impressive, barely scratches the surface with her.
Yeah, Race is my little sis, of course. Former Nike executive.
Cooper Flagg with a 2-hander. He has 28.
Rachel Baker, of course, very close to Cooper Flagg's favorite NBA player, who happens to be celebrating his 27th birthday today, and one Jason Tatum.
Proctor for a triple. Rebound bounces around. Gillis controls it. Back for Proctor. Had a couple of really good looks.
Remember, Proctor's first game back, so shaking off a little bit of the rust. And again, no matter how much time you miss, it could be 1 game, it could be 10 games. It's going to be different for you getting back into action. And those are shots that we've been used to seeing Proctor knock down.
Blocked by Flagg. That triggers the break. Proctor one-on-one on Hildreth. And banks it in. Tell you what, the way this game started, I didn't think there was any way in the world Duke was going to get to 81 points tonight.
Well, we talked about it. They've scored 100 points in 3 of their last 5 games, OB. Only scored 2 points in the first 5 minutes of this game. But then it's been an offensive explosion ever since. Cooper Flagg with the finish on one end, and on the other end, denying an opportunity. He's been flexing a lot, and Rachel even flashing a smile as Cooper denies an opportunity. Been flexing a lot, OB. He ain't strong enough to flex right now, but his game absolutely is super strong.
Well, a lot of that best player in the country resume tape is going to come out of this game.
I tell you what, I think it's time for Cooper to have a seat and get his ovation. The final ovation from this crowd as Kon Knueppel knocks down the 3 ball. I believe it's time to see Spencer Hubbard in his last opportunity, as well as many of the seniors here to finish it off at Cameron Indoor.
Knocked away, and Wake Forest will retain possession with 4.5 minutes to go. The ACC women's basketball tournament begins on Wednesday in Greensboro. ACC Network will have all the first and second round games, as well as 2 of the quarterfinal matchups. First round coverage beginning at 12:30 Eastern with the Nothing But Net crew.
And that's going to be fun. Louisville and Notre Dame sharing the ACC regular season title. Going to be interesting to see those go at it. Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, the amazing backcourt of Notre Dame. However, They took an overtime loss at NC State the last time those two teams matched up. So looking forward to seeing if those two teams will make it to the ACC tournament final, or will North Carolina, will many of the other suitors find their way into the mix. Of course, our former colleague Carol Lawson here at Duke, who they've had a very positive season as well.
Frederickson knocks that back. And Wake Forest down 84-49. And we'll see how long Cooper Flagg remains in the game. And Kon Knueppel, too, is up to 17 points. Underneath for an easy basket from Holloway.
Well, Jon Scheyer is going to make sure that the Crazies get an opportunity to give each and every one of them their proper ovation. So most likely after the next media timeout, he will take them out one by one to allow this crowd to be able to say goodbye.
And Reid just lost it back over to Duke. And we have a timeout. 3:50
on what is senior day.
Proctor negotiates in, and a kiss off the window.
Jon Scheyer wanted the timeout afterwards.
.334 to go, and Evans back on, and here comes Cooper Flagg heading to the bench and getting a great ovation at Cameron. In their final home game, Malawach gets a big hug too. Cooper Flagg, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists.
That's not a bad send-off, OB.
Not too shabby. One more year, they're chanting, the Cameron Crazies and everybody else.
And look at Kelly and Ralph. It's entertaining. However, it's not a good business decision, OB.
No.
And Cooper saying, let's run it back. Yeah, okay.
He said it a couple of weeks ago. He teased everybody by saying, no, I think I'd like to come back for another year.
Yeah, but let me tell you what, that would not be a very good business decision to come back.
And now tonight's game check-in brought to you by Allstate. So you made this point, I think, beautifully in the first half. He's been a second half guy, and man, when he explodes. Proctor now out of the game as well, as Jon Scheyer here in his senior night starts to empty his bench. With about 3 minutes to play. Harris jumping inside, can't bank it in. So for Wake, this will be their 10th defeat. They will drop to 12-7 in the ACC. Duke about to improve to 27-3 and 18-1 in the conference. Harris can't get that one to go. And coming up next, number 3 Houston take it on Hunter Dickinson and Kansas. Johnson on balance, around and out.
Here's my guy. There's Spencer.
Spencer Hubbard, the grad, a 5A graduate, getting ready to check in.
OB Spencer was 2 for 3 from 3 against Florida State last time out. As Mason Gillis knocks down another 3, Jon Scheyer will take the timeout and roll it to get the subs in. The last time you will see Sion James, Mason Gillis on the floor at Cameron Indoor in the Duke uniform.
Duke up 91-51. Back to Kevin in the studio. .210 to go. Spencer Hubbard into the fray here on his senior night at 5'8", about 157 pounds, out of Los Angeles, California. Frederickson, yes.
Spencer's the only guy I talked to from the Blue Devils pregame. Went over and said, told him, I said, I saw you got buckets against Florida State last time out. I need to see you shoot the basketball again. Mom, of course, watching from LA. Spencer, who celebrated his senior night last year and decided to come back for a 5th year, so he did not take part in the festivities pregame today.
Stanley Borden is the 7-footer and fires that one out. Borden, 7 feet, 241 pounds, a native of Istanbul, Turkey. Doesn't get a chance to play, obviously, very much. But man, in practice, he gets beat on.
He really does. But that's probably the first time he's seen a double team in his entire career with the Blue Devils.
Might be true. 22 to go. Borden gets a hand on it. On the steal, and deflected out of the sky by Spillers. The crowd is just dying to see Hubbard score.
They absolutely are. Really, all these guys, they want to see him have some success on their last time here playing in front of this crowd. And you've got to imagine how great it's been. Coach K showing up, who, of course, this crew playing their freshman year with Coach K in his last season, to now playing for Jon Scheyer in year 3, where after this win, he will have the ACC record for most wins in 3 years as a head coach, surpassing Bill Guthridge of University of North Carolina.
Duke about to go to 47-3 at Cameron Indoor under Jon Scheyer. Sounds like a Coach K number. Begovic will dipsy-do for 2. And the bench loves it when the guys who never get a chance to play and are playing for the last time on this floor get into the contest, regardless of the score. Johnson on the drive and takes a hit, makes the shot. He'll go to the line with 17.5 seconds to go.
Neil Begovic off the bounce, a little up and under. The nice left hand to finish it off. And if the entire bench up, demonstrating the left hand, showing you just how connected this team is. As you mentioned, Coach Ham talking about it. This team, especially defensively, so connected. They share the basketball extremely well. This is a team that has a great chance, especially if they're able to get Malik Brown back and healthy, of hanging a 6th national championship banner in this building.
That's what everybody here at Cameron has in mind. There's your final score tonight as Duke runs away and hides against Wake. 93-60 the final. Impressive.
It was very impressive. And from the 15